I didn't see you there. Is it that time already? Wow, let's get started. Welcome to Facts 101 with Dr. Melanie. Today, our topic is film radiography. Shall we give it a whirl? Here's a list of the topics we're going to cover in today's episode. First is going to be the components of a film, followed by how the x-rays are made, then how we develop the images, how the film is processed, and then handling and storage. All films contain at least 5 layers, which are the base, the adhesive layer, the emulsion layer, protective coat, and intensifying screens. You may also find that some films have a reflective layer or a phosphor layer. The reflective layer enhances the efficiency of the intensifying screen, nearly doubling the number of light photons that reach the film. The phosphor layer is the active part that absorbs transmitted X-rays and converts it to visible light. It glows very brightly when it's activated. Screens without this layer are not as efficient as those with these layers because fewer light photons can reach the film. As you can see here in this diagram, this is an example of a double emulsion film. Here to help me illustrate the components of a film is my good friend Lisa. Say hello, Lisa.
Hello.
Lisa has no idea what the inside of a cassette looks like, and I'm going to show her through a sandwich. First, we start with the bread, which resembles the base. It gives the film physical stability and is usually about 150 to 300 micrometers thick. Next, we have the adhesive layer, which in this case is the peanut butter. It adheres the base and emulsion together. This layer allows the base to maintain proper contact during use and processing. Well done, Lisa.
Oh, thank you.
It's beautiful. Moving on to the emulsion layer, which is the jam. In this case, strawberry. It is the heart of the film. It contains gelatin and silver halide crystals, which are responsible for creating an image. The seeds in the jam are like the many crystals that can be present in this layer. Next, we will add the intensifying screen. For this, we are using bananas. These screens amplify the action of the rays, such as a banana to a peanut butter and jam sandwich makes it that much better. And then finally, we add the bread on top to make it complete. This is acting as the protective coat, as it will make it less prone to scratches, pressure, contaminating chemicals, and in this case, flies. And here you have it, folks, a sandwich as a cassette. Silver halide crystals are responsible for creating an image because they are the most photosensitive parts of the film. The incoming radiation will hit the imaging plate and react with the silver halide crystals to produce the image. They are located in the emulsion layer, which is full of gelatin, so it makes it clear and porous to transmit the light to the crystals. They are usually flat and typically about 0.1 micrometers thick with a triangular or hexagonal shape, and they are approximately 1 micrometer in diameter. Different organs and tissues in the body will have a varying sensitivity to the incoming radiation. For example, bone attenuates radiation, so it shows up white on an image, whereas muscles and tissues show up gray, and air shows black because it transmits all the incoming X-rays. To develop an image, it can either be done manually or by a machine and takes several lengthy steps. The first stage in processing the film is called the development. It's where chemicals convert the silver halide crystals to metallic silver. The next stage is to stop the development process by flushing the developer solution with water. In the fixing stage, all of the unexposed silver halide crystals are dissolved into the chemical solution. The washing stage is key as it removes all of the unnecessary chemicals. And then finally, when the image is dried, it can be sent off to the radiologist for diagnosis. There are 3 main things that contribute to the image that is developed onto the film. They are film contrast, exposure latitude, and speed. The difference in film contrast depends on the size and distribution of the silver halide crystals. A high contrast film contains smaller grains with relatively uniform size. They will also show more black and white differences. whereas low contrast films contain larger grains and have a wider range of size, will also show more shades of gray. Exposure latitude refers to the range of techniques that produce an acceptable image. Now it's time for another guest to join us on the show. Please welcome Blair. Say hello, Blair. He is going to help me illustrate how different film speeds affect the image that is produced by comparing it to playing a song on the guitar. Film speed refers to the concentration and number of silver halide crystals in the emulsion layer. Therefore, the more crystals there are, the more sensitive they are to light, and the higher the film speed. When you are first learning a song, it is slow, and you may only play a few notes or maybe a few chords at a time. This is an example of a lower film speed, as it reflects that there are fewer crystals reacting in the film or fewer chords you can play when you are learning. Once you have more practice with the guitar, your fingers start to move faster, it sounds more complex, and the song begins to really come together. Just like when there are a lot more crystals responding to the incoming X-rays, you have a faster film speed. Pretty soon, you're Jimi Hendrix. Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Facts 101. Join us next week when we talk about why koala bears eat eucalyptus leaves. This is Dr. M signing off. Facts are neat.